Have you ever felt like someone in your life is constantly pushing your buttons or observing your reactions more than usual? Maybe it's that friend who always seems to challenge you, or a colleague who throws you curveball questions to test your limits. If you've ever felt this way, you're not alone. There's a good chance that person is testing your behavior for a reason. When someone is testing your behavior, they're not just acting randomly or without purpose. It's a calculated move to assess your reactions, to see how much you can tolerate, or to understand how you handle certain situations. It's as though they're trying to measure your patience, strength, or emotional responses to gauge the depth of your character or your readiness to handle certain challenges. These tests might come in the form of subtle hints or blatant provocations, and sometimes they can be hard to recognize. But the truth is, understanding when someone is testing you can reveal a lot about their intentions and motivations. As we dive deeper into the signs of this behavior, we'll explore how you can spot these tests, and why people might feel the need to do this in the first place. Whether it's in a personal relationship, a workplace scenario, or a friendship, knowing the signs can help you respond more effectively and with awareness, leading to stronger interactions. The goal isn't to make you paranoid but to help you discern the hidden dynamics at play, so you can maintain your emotional balance and stay in control of your reactions. Let's dive into the signs that someone might be testing you and why they're doing it. Sign 1, they're seeking to understand your emotional boundaries. When someone tests your behavior to understand your emotional boundaries, it's often an unconscious attempt to gauge how much they can rely on you and whether you're capable of handling vulnerability. They might push your buttons, bring up sensitive topics, or make remarks that seem provocative, all with the intent of seeing how you react. This isn't always done in a mean-spirited way. Instead, it's an exploration of your emotional limits. They want to understand how far they can go before you respond in a way that signals a boundary. The reason behind this kind of testing can vary, but a common cause is that the person may have experienced emotional pain in the past. They could be hesitant to invest emotionally in someone unless they are sure that person will respect their boundaries and provide the emotional stability they seek. If they've been hurt before, either in relationships or in other areas of life, they may approach new connections with a degree of caution. This caution manifests in the form of testing, trying to discern how much emotional space they can share without feeling vulnerable or rejected. In these situations, their behavior may feel like a subtle provocation, but at its core, they are trying to assess your emotional reliability. They're not just seeing if you'll snap under pressure, they want to know if you'll be there for them when things get tough. They might also want to see if you can handle their emotional complexity without becoming overwhelmed or emotionally distant. It's a way of determining whether they can trust you with their deeper, more personal emotions. The impact of this behavior is significant, especially in relationships where emotional intimacy is key. They could be measuring whether they can rely on you for emotional support or if you will withdraw when things get difficult. If you pass these subtle tests by maintaining your composure and showing empathy, they may begin to see you as a trustworthy emotional partner. On the other hand, if you react defensively or shut down, it could reinforce their fears of vulnerability and cause them to pull away. So, understanding this behavior can help you recognize when someone is testing your emotional boundaries, giving you the chance to respond thoughtfully and compassionately. Sign 2, they want to see if you can handle stress. One of the most common ways people test your behavior is by putting you in stressful situations to observe how you react. This might involve being late to meetings, creating unexpected challenges, or making unreasonable demands, anything that triggers a response under pressure. While these actions can sometimes feel frustrating or inconsiderate, they are often an intentional effort to gauge your ability to handle stress, both in the moment and over time. The reason behind such testing is usually tied to their desire to understand how well you manage difficult situations. For instance, they might want to know if you can maintain your composure and stay focused when things aren't going smoothly. This behavior might come from their own experiences of dealing with chaos or high-pressure situations, and they could be assessing whether you have the same resilience or ability to think clearly under pressure. It's their way of figuring out how reliable and level-headed you are when the circumstances are far from ideal. In relationships, this kind of behavior is especially relevant. Stressful situations often arise unexpectedly in life, and how a person handles these moments can significantly impact the dynamics of a relationship. Whether it's a job loss, a financial setback, or an emotional crisis, challenges will inevitably test your bond. The person testing you may want to know if you will crumble under stress or if you can stand strong together and tackle the problem as a team. They might be wondering if they can count on you during difficult times when everything seems to be falling apart. It's important to note that this type of testing isn't necessarily done with ill intentions. It's often a way for someone to assess the stability and reliability of the relationship. If you respond with calmness, patience, and a solution-oriented mindset, they'll likely feel reassured and more confident in the strength of your connection. On the other hand, if you react with frustration, impatience, or anxiety, they might question whether you have the capacity to handle adversity together. Recognizing this behavior gives you the opportunity to demonstrate emotional maturity and resilience, which are essential for building long-term trust and stability in any relationship. Sign 3, they are testing your level of patience. One of the most subtle yet telling ways someone may test your behavior is by pushing your patience. They might do this by intentionally engaging in behavior that challenges your tolerance, such as being late, repeating the same issues, or acting unpredictably. This strategy is designed to gauge how understanding and patient you are, especially when things aren't going according to plan or when they aren't at their best. The reason behind testing your patience is often linked to their need for reassurance about the stability of the relationship or connection. In many cases, the person testing you may be uncertain about how much they can show their true selves without pushing you away. If they've had past experiences where their flaws or quirks caused others to grow frustrated or distance themselves, they might want to see if you can accept them as they are, imperfections and all. By testing your patience, they are asking, how far can I go before this person starts to get irritated or give up on me? Another possible motivation for this behavior is to understand the boundaries of what you're willing to tolerate in the relationship, whether it's a romantic, friendship, or professional dynamic. They may want to see how much you're willing to put up with or if there are certain behaviors they should be aware of to prevent conflict. If they tend to be disorganized, inconsistent, or slow to follow through on promises, they might be curious to see if you'll stay patient and continue to offer support despite these shortcomings. Essentially, they're testing your ability to handle minor irritations and frustrations without letting them escalate into bigger issues. On an emotional level, testing your patience is a way for them to assess if you are a safe person they can lean on. They might be wondering if you will continue to be patient with them even when things aren't perfect or if you will react negatively when they show vulnerability or make mistakes. If you respond with understanding and tolerance, they are likely to feel more secure in your relationship, knowing that they can rely on you without fear of judgment or rejection. However, if you react with impatience, frustration, or resentment, it may signal to them that the connection isn't as strong or enduring as they'd hoped. Recognizing this test gives you the opportunity to demonstrate empathy, patience, and emotional maturity, qualities that are essential for any lasting, supportive relationship. Sign 4, they're trying to understand your priorities. One of the ways someone may test your behavior is by creating situations that force you to make choices, especially when it comes to balancing your personal priorities. They may push you into scenarios where you have to decide between spending time with them and other things that are important to you, like work, friends, or hobbies. These tests are often subtle, such as expecting you to cancel plans for them or asking you to drop everything in a moment of need. This helps them gauge not only how much you care about them but also what your priorities truly are. The reason behind this behavior is rooted in the need for reassurance. The person might want to know where they stand in your life. They could be uncertain about whether they come first in your hierarchy of priorities, or whether they're just one of many things competing for your attention. This can be especially common in relationships where one partner might feel insecure or unsure about the depth of the other person's commitment. By testing you in this way, they're essentially asking, do I come before other important aspects of your life, or am I secondary to your career, your friends, or your personal pursuits? This type of test is not necessarily a reflection of their own insecurities but rather a genuine attempt to understand if your values align with theirs. If they're looking for a partner who places family or relationships at the forefront, they may want to see if you're willing to make them a priority when it counts. On the other hand, if their own values prioritize independence or personal freedom, they may be testing to see if you're able to maintain balance and not demand too much of their time. In either case, these tests can reveal a lot about what both individuals are looking for in a relationship and whether there's room for growth. From the impact on the relationship perspective, these tests are not just about their need for reassurance, they're about understanding if your long-term priorities align. Are you both on the same page when it comes to what's important, or are you likely to clash over differing values? This kind of testing helps individuals determine whether they're willing to invest time and emotional energy into a relationship where there may be fundamental differences in what they prioritize. Recognizing this behavior can give you insight into how to balance your own priorities while also demonstrating that you value the relationship and are willing to make space for it in your life. Sign 5. They want to know if you're trustworthy. Trust is the foundation of any strong relationship, whether romantic, platonic, or professional. A person who is testing your behavior to assess your trustworthiness might do so subtly. They may confide in you with small secrets or share personal details about themselves, observing how you respond. They could ask you seemingly innocuous questions or present situations that test your loyalty or discretion. These small tests are not necessarily about your immediate reaction but about how you handle sensitive information or situations over time. They want to gauge whether you're someone they can trust, and whether you'll honor the confidence they place in you. The reason behind this testing behavior often stems from past experiences or deep-seated trust issues. Someone who has been hurt or betrayed before may approach relationships with a higher level of caution. They might be wary of opening up completely until they are sure they can rely on the person they're with. By testing your behavior, they're seeking reassurance that you're a safe and trustworthy person who won't betray their confidence or use their vulnerabilities against them. Trust, for them, isn't something given freely, it's something that must be earned over time. For this individual, the need for trust goes beyond simply knowing that you won't break their confidence. It's about the emotional security that comes from knowing that they can rely on you in difficult times. Testing your trustworthiness allows them to assess whether they can count on you to keep your word, respect their privacy, and stand by them when it matters most. In doing so, they are slowly laying the groundwork for a deeper, more meaningful connection. They understand that trust cannot be rushed and that it needs to be built over time, especially when previous experiences may have made them more cautious. These tests can be challenging because they require you to be honest, reliable, and discreet. If you pass these subtle tests and prove that you are worthy of their trust, the relationship can deepen significantly. It signals that they are ready to invest more emotionally in you, knowing that you won't let them down. However, if you betray their confidence, even in small ways, it can be hard to rebuild that trust. For this reason, recognizing when someone is testing your trustworthiness can help you navigate the relationship with care, understanding that trust is a fragile but vital part of the dynamic. Sign 5. They want to know if you're trustworthy. One of the most common reasons people test your behavior is to assess whether you're truly trustworthy. Trust is a crucial element in any relationship, and for someone who has been hurt in the past or has experienced betrayal, it's not given easily. A person who's testing your trustworthiness might start by revealing small, seemingly inconsequential secrets or sharing personal details with you. They're observing how you handle this information, whether you keep it to yourself or, without thinking, share it with others. This behavior could also involve asking subtle questions or giving you opportunities to prove your loyalty by seeing how you act when their trust is on the line. The reason behind this testing often lies in previous emotional wounds. If they've been hurt before, perhaps by someone they loved or trusted, they may be wary of fully opening up to others again. Trust is something they can't take for granted, so they test those around them to make sure they are safe and can rely on them. This person may have been betrayed or let down in the past, leading to an increased need for reassurance that their vulnerability won't be taken advantage of again. Through small tests, they're trying to gauge how trustworthy you really are. By testing your loyalty and discretion, they're laying the groundwork for a deeper, more meaningful connection. They may not voice it directly, but what they're ultimately seeking is emotional security. They want to know that, should they choose to invest more in you, you won't betray their confidence or use their vulnerabilities against them. Trust is the foundation for a lasting relationship, and by testing you, they are determining if you can handle their most private feelings or sensitive topics with the care they need. These tests are rarely overt, instead, they're often subtle, small moments that can easily be overlooked. However, the way you respond can greatly influence the direction of the relationship. If you handle their confidences with respect and keep your word, you'll slowly build trust. But if you fail these subtle tests, by revealing secrets, breaking promises, or showing any lack of discretion, it can lead to a breakdown in trust, which is difficult to repair. By recognizing when someone is testing your trustworthiness, you can approach the situation with the sensitivity and care that is needed to build a stronger connection over time. Sign 6. They are evaluating your level of empathy. One common reason someone might test your behavior is to assess your level of empathy. Empathy, the ability to understand and share another person's feelings, is crucial in building strong emotional connections, especially in relationships. When someone is testing your empathy, they may create situations where they become emotionally vulnerable. This could involve opening up about a personal issue, sharing a past trauma, or discussing something they're struggling with. Their goal is to observe how you respond to their vulnerability, whether you offer understanding, compassion, or support, or whether you withdraw or become uncomfortable. The reason behind this behavior is simple: they want to know if you're capable of truly understanding their feelings and providing the emotional support they need. For someone who may have experienced emotional hardship or rejection in the past, the need for empathy is amplified. They might be looking for a partner, friend, or colleague who can not only listen but also emotionally connect with them during tough times. Empathy is an indicator that you care enough to tune into their emotional state and that you have the ability to support them when things get difficult. This kind of emotional testing is especially significant in intimate relationships. A person who loves you may want reassurance that you can be a reliable source of emotional support when they're feeling. Sign 7. They want to know if you can handle their flaws. A common behavior that signals someone may be testing you is the way they reveal or emphasize their flaws, vulnerabilities, or imperfections. For individuals who are insecure about certain aspects of themselves, this can be a way to gauge how much you can truly accept them for who they are. They might do this by sharing personal struggles, acting in ways that expose their weaknesses, or revealing aspects of themselves that they feel self-conscious about. This kind of behavior is often subtle, but its intention is clear: they want to know if you will still love, care for, and accept them despite their imperfections. The reason behind this behavior typically lies in their own fears of rejection or abandonment. Past experiences may have left them feeling as though they weren't good enough, or perhaps they've been hurt by others in the past who couldn't accept them fully. As a result, they may constantly test the waters to see if you can handle their flaws without turning away. Whether it's a minor quirk, a major insecurity, or a recurring issue, they might want to understand if you'll be patient with them and accept them, warts and all. This testing behavior is a way of seeking reassurance. They want to know if the relationship will be strong enough to endure the challenges and imperfections that come with being human. By showing their vulnerabilities, they are looking to see whether you'll still embrace them when they aren't at their best, when they're not perfect. It's not that they expect you to overlook their flaws or ignore areas where they may need to improve, but they want to feel secure in the knowledge that you're in it for the long haul, even through the ups and downs. For you, responding with acceptance, patience, and understanding can build trust and deepen the emotional connection. By demonstrating that you're willing to accept them as they are, including their flaws, you not only reassure them of your love but also help foster an environment where both parties feel safe enough to be their true, imperfect selves. Sign 8. They're testing your communication skills. Communication is the foundation of any strong relationship, and many people test your communication skills as a way of understanding how well you can navigate difficult or uncomfortable conversations. This might involve bringing up sensitive or controversial topics to see how you react or, alternatively, creating situations where they avoid directly communicating their thoughts or feelings, testing your ability to handle ambiguity. The way you respond to these situations can give them valuable insights into your emotional intelligence, maturity, and how well you handle conflict. The reason behind this testing behavior is often linked to their desire to know if you are open to engaging in honest and transparent communication, especially about difficult or uncomfortable subjects. They might want to see if you're capable of talking about deeper issues, such as their feelings, future plans, or fears, without resorting to avoidance or defensiveness. They may also be waiting for the right moment to share their own deeper feelings, but before doing so, they want to ensure that you can handle such conversations maturely and constructively. By introducing discomfort, they are gauging your ability to stay calm, listen actively, and express yourself effectively. On a deeper level, testing communication is about assessing whether a genuine emotional connection exists between you both. Surface-level conversations can only take a relationship so far. To build a lasting bond, people often need to dive into more meaningful, sometimes challenging discussions. By testing how you handle these moments, they're looking for a partner who can go beyond superficial exchanges and connect on a deeper, more intimate level. How you navigate these conversations will influence how they perceive your emotional availability and willingness to be vulnerable. If you're able to discuss complex feelings, confront challenges together, and maintain open, honest dialogue, it signals that you're capable of connecting emotionally and fostering a relationship built on mutual understanding and trust. The ability to engage in meaningful conversations may be their way of ensuring the relationship has the depth and authenticity needed to last long-term. Sign 9, they're trying to see how much you can handle. People sometimes test your limits by pushing boundaries, whether emotionally, mentally, or even physically, to gauge how much you can endure, particularly during challenging or stressful circumstances. This testing might manifest as them deliberately creating difficult situations or introducing hardships, seeing how you react under pressure, or whether you can handle adversity without breaking down or losing composure. The tests can range from minor irritations to more intense emotional challenges, all designed to see how much stress you can take before you either lose patience or walk away. The reason behind this behavior often stems from their desire to understand your resilience. They want to know if you can handle the ups and downs of life and relationships, or if you might abandon them when things get tough. Life is unpredictable, and relationships come with their share of challenges, so they might be testing whether you are someone who can weather these storms with them. It's a subtle way of gauging how strong you are both emotionally and psychologically, and how much you are willing to endure for the sake of the relationship. This testing can reveal how you respond to stress and difficulty, showing them whether you're capable of staying calm and composed, or whether you might fold under pressure. Furthermore, this behavior is often connected to the idea of long-term commitment. Relationships require resilience, and many people want to know if they can count on their partner to remain supportive and steadfast, even when things get difficult. They may be evaluating whether you are someone who will stick around during tough times, providing stability and strength when challenges arise. By testing your ability to handle difficult situations, they are subconsciously measuring whether you're the kind of person they can build a lasting connection with. They are looking for someone who can endure difficulties, bounce back from setbacks, and ultimately be a reliable partner through both the good and bad moments of life. If you pass these tests and prove that you can handle adversity with grace, it signals to them that you are a person they can trust to stand by their side, even when life becomes unpredictable. Throughout this discussion, we've explored 12 signs that may indicate someone is testing your behavior. From seeking to understand your emotional boundaries to assessing your trustworthiness, empathy, and ability to handle stress, these tests are often subtle yet highly significant. The common thread among all these behaviors is that they stem from a deep-seated need for trust, emotional connection, and compatibility. Whether in friendships, romantic relationships, or work dynamics, these tests help individuals gauge how well you align with their values, emotional needs, and long-term goals. By pushing you into certain situations or monitoring your reactions, they're often trying to measure your capacity for empathy, resilience, and understanding, qualities that are essential for a strong, lasting relationship. These tests may feel uncomfortable at times, but they are typically driven by a desire to ensure that the connection is solid and genuine. The person testing you is not necessarily trying to manipulate or harm you. Instead, they're seeking reassurance that the relationship is built on a trustworthy foundation where both parties can rely on each other through life's challenges. They want to ensure emotional security and stability, which are critical for long-term commitment. Now that you understand these signs, consider how they might apply to your own relationships. Are you being tested by someone around you? Or perhaps you're the one doing the testing, consciously or subconsciously, to ensure the relationship is built on strong, reliable grounds. Recognizing these signs can help you navigate relationships with more awareness and empathy, ensuring that both you and your partner can grow together in a healthy and balanced way.